Hi, everybody, and welcome to Module 2. It's all happening so fast. So what I'm going to do is show you my screen, and this is the part where I try to talk through it so that you can't tell that I'm really having a difficult time. Come on, let me show my screen. Okay, there we go. And I want this. Okay, just want my face to be smaller. That's all I want. So what I'm going to do is go through, well, no, I'm going to tell you the things that you need to know in case you don't want to take a trip through the resources with me, which is fine. If you, and this is what I always do, if you want to go to the YouTube, go to the video in YouTube. I don't know if it shows it there. What you can make me talk 2 times faster, which seems like it shouldn't be possible with the laws of physics, and yet it is. And then you get the overview without, all those pauses and things like that. Anyway, the 2 things that I want you to know before you clock out, if you've decided not to watch the video and just read extremely carefully that which is written below, is that I am loving the discussion. I'm so excited that you guys have just jumped in like this, and it's wonderful. So yay! Usually it takes a few weeks to get to the point where it feels so conversational, and right out of the gate, you guys have it. So that's lovely. The other thing is the getting to know you. I do use that information eventually when I'm like putting people in pairs and stuff like that. I do need to know like if you're in a school or not. So there are only 3 of you who have not, and one of you is a real latecomer, so that's fine. But make sure that you have introduced yourself in the getting to know you window, because that will help me out later, pairing you up. All right. So, the module 1, it's been going great. I'm going to run through tomorrow and tick off some boxes for people who have put in their blog links early. Thanks for that. But my grading will actually be a week behind because, next week. Anyway, that's not an excuse. It's just information. I believe that that's everything that you need to know if you're going to read this. But if you want to come with me and look through this week's content, then come along. Let me show you. All right. So right now we are looking up here. So I'm going to be going to see what's what, but I have opened everything. Oh, come on, Zoom. Don't be like this. All right. So for week 2's content, basically it's a big bunch of exploration. You're watching the video, you're going to read this page, you're going to explore the resources, and you're going to investigate tools and post your experience to your blog and discuss it in the discussion. So I will show you through the resources, which are, I think there's like 6 of them. And these are things, there's nothing here that you absolutely have to read. These are just resources that can help you find things if you don't have someplace you want to go on your own. You know what? I'm actually going to show you the resources after this. Let me show you. We're going to go to the content. This is very meta, but I do want to show you these. I'm not going to go to each one, but these are, let's see if it'll just let me move it here so I look less weird. All right. So there's basically 4 different things that we're looking at. Organizing your stuff. So these are tools, and Nick Kellett has an article, which is a resource. So here I am. Nick Kellett talks about the difference between tools and apps. And I've what it boils down to is tools do a lot of stuff, and apps do one thing specifically. And of course, there are many exceptions here. So this week and next week are going to slosh over each other, and that's fine. This is about you getting to a point where you've, sort of got this week is like the big picture. And then next week, you'll do more sort of strategizing with the specific apps and tools. All right. So, but what we're looking at is things that organize your stuff. So we got Google tools, obviously, the big kahuna, Evernote, which people love, Digo, which, okay, one of the resources is about RSS readers, and Digo is that. Padlet, LiveBinder. I believe that LiveBinder is paid. Most of these are free. I'm trying to really make sure that most of these are free, things that you're looking at throughout the course. However, I went to a conference where we talked about, how if something's free, you're the product. And so if those of you who in the Choose Your Own Adventure week are not going to be able to go to MSLA, which is perfectly fine. One of the things you might want to look at is, should we be using these big free apps that are mining information? Let's not even go there yet. Okay. So I find our Tumblr and Pinterest. Those are all places where you can organize your stuff. Then we've got website hosts. I do not need you to make a website, but they're worth looking at. Google Sites, Wix, and Weebly are three of the big ones. And then finding new stuff. That's like, how do you, there's so much information. How do we mine it for whatever our educational purposes are? So we've got the article about RSS Flipboard, which is a really nice, especially if your school is tablet-based, it's a really nice tablet-based reading format. And then Reddit, which still seeing kids reading Reddit. My husband every morning gets the news from Reddit. This is a shocking thing. You're not my marriage counselor, but I'm like, dude, if it's not funny, I don't want to hear it. But there's a lot there, and our kids are still looking at it. All right. And then finally, the last one, just a little kiss to the librarian in us, is keeping track of your books and finding new books. So Goodreads and library thing. Somebody else was telling me about another reading app that I have since forgotten the name of, but feel free, if you've got other ones that you use, to mention it in the discussion. Goodreads is very social, whereas library thing is kind of organizational, but they're terrific. So I read this stuff. You can read this on your own. I'm not going to read it to you. There are footnotes because, sometimes I just can't help myself. So again, remember, two things to remember are, the first is you're going to have to sign up for some stuff. Like, even if there's a paywall, and this is throughout at least the first 8 modules, you're going to have to sign up for stuff. So you might want to make yourself a special Google account just for this course so that you don't gum up your regular email, because they will send you stuff until forever. So you might want to do that, just an account that you don't care about, that you can just sign up everything for that. And then the other piece is the timing. Again, when you're exploring, you get sucked into the time hole, and you want to make sure that you get up and walk around and don't forget your life. So you do not have to look at everything. You need to look at what you can look at in the time allotted for the class. Okay. It's theoretically a 10-hour class. So, it's your, if your information is showing up and you're getting enough done, if you find that it's all way too much, let me know, because I give a lot more resources, hopefully, than you'll need. Let's look at the resources, shall we? So the first one is AASL, which is a subgroup of ALA. It's the American Association of School Libraries, and they have awards for the best digital tools for teaching and learning. And you don't have to nominate someone, but here are the ones from last year. And I believe that you can go in here. Yes, you can go in here and look at all the ones that they've listed for since the dawn of time. All right. And then RSS readers, which, no, we don't want to subscribe. We just want your free stuff. Blammo. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure if I prettify this, maybe that can go away. No, thank you. Come on. Just want free things. But this is really, the modern web contains no shortage of horrors. Dear God, that's true. All right, so this explains RSS. And some of you are like, yeah, right, RSS is dead. Some of you are like, oh, what's RSS? This is, I mean, even though this is from 2018, so it's, God, 5 years? Has it been that long? But it's really interesting. I loved, Google used to have an Google Reader. Oh my gosh, I loved it so much. Anyway, so this will take you through there. Then we've got EdApp, the microlearning blog, 22 free tech tools for teachers, again from 2020. So this probably has the smell of, it's got the smell of the COVID era on it, but there are some pretty good apps here that you can take a look at. Then, this is Nick Kellett, and this is the article, which is, sort of more thinky, but he talks about which is better, apps or tools. And this is where I got my theory about tools being highly generic and apps being specific, but he just looks through that. It's kind of interesting. Then here, and I don't like to brag, but this is so new. It's only a year old. I do have a hard time sometimes getting rid of, as you can see from Richardson and the teacher's top 10 things, like when I've gotten so much good learning fodder from participants in the courses from these older articles. I'm like, I can't let go. I'm like a hoarder of resources, but this one's, hey, it's less than a year old. Oh, look at me go. So this is Create and Connect, tech tools and tricks librarians can't live without. And some of these are things that you're going to see elsewhere, but she does a nice big picture sort of look at this sort of thing and the connection piece, which, goes back to what Renee Hobbs has talked about. All right. And finally, don't be frightened. 350 amazing online learning resources. Okay. It's just so aggressive. There's so much here. But they break it down into this stuff. And again, this is not library specific, but it is perhaps useful. I gotta get out of this window, man. It's so much. All right. So the plan for this week is to explore this stuff, read this stuff, and then your blog, don't forget to put live links in your blog. It's just like putting a link in an email. I mean, it's so easy. But put links so that you can get back to what you've looked at. And then in the discussion, sky's the limit. And again, some of you are going to be like, all this stuff it's so basic. So that's fine. Go and find new stuff and bring it back and tell us about it. And some of you are going to be like, oh my gosh, it's all so much. And that's fine, we all want the perspective, and also, different grade level perspectives, but your students too. You're going to have some kids who are super, like they've been playing with this tech forever. You're going to have homeschool kids, and I have some lovely homeschool kids, but you're going to have kids whose parents are very, anti-technology, who are going to come in and have to ramp up. So, what I would like is, and this week, it's just exploratory, but moving on, we're going to be looking at more specific stuff. And I want you to focus, if you're working in a library or if you have designs on a library, focus on what you're going to be able to use. I do not like busy work, and I do not want you to have to do it. So that's that. All right. I'm going to stop sharing. Stopping. Okay. So my face is so big again. And I'm going to stop recording, and you can go about your business. If you have any questions, if you need any help, the email and Canvas, I check twice a day. There's also the help bar, the help discussion thing. Feel free to use that. And I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with. All right. Have a great week. Bye.